Welcome and thank you for watching the 2016 Tahoe Regional Young Professionals Candidate Video Interviews for the City of South Lake Tahoe. TRYP is a politically neutral organization and does not endorse candidates or ballot measures. This video series is produced to prepare our community to make an informed vote on November 8th. Each of the 10 candidates will have 10 minutes to answer 4 questions, 3 of which they received in advance and 1 free-form question. We're here with Patrick Jarrett. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And we'll jump right in with our first question. What are your goals for the city and how will it look in the next 5 years?
Well, I'd like to see the city become more involved with the citizens of the city, and let's get some more people out to some more events. Let's have, like the farmers market and stuff like that. You know, there's a lot of people that go out to that. There's a lot of people that go out to Live at Lakeview. Let's put on some more of these events. We have a lot of this stuff going on in the summertime, but there's always room for more.
So you think the city can be a real pillar and build sort of that community feel and community events?
Exactly. Let's warm up to the community and get involved with the community, and that in turn will hopefully lead to the community getting involved with more with the city.
And do you also imagine these events and more community things also attracting visitors and tourism?
Absolutely. You know, there's not just locals go down to the Live at Lakeview. I see all kinds of tourists all the time at the farmers markets, both here in town at the American Legion and down at Ski Run, and even up at Kale.
Yeah, so really providing those opportunities for over the next 5 years for the community to become stronger.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So for the next question, what concrete actions should the city take to provide more housing affordability in South Lake Tahoe?
Personally, as far as affordability, it's not necessarily the city's responsibility, but the city can step in and reduce some of the fees and the costs of building a house, which have become, I'm not sure the word I'm looking for, but it's a stranglehold that they've got on these builders and developers to make it affordable to build a house in Tahoe with all the permit fees and everything. You've got to build these mini mansions and charge an exorbitant amount just to cover the costs.
So the city can
step in and try and help reduce some of these fees and work with the developers and the builders and property owners, and let's see what we can do to try and get more of this building going on of smaller, more affordable places.
So remove the barriers and the developers will basically come and be able to do projects.
Exactly.
Perfect. So with the known impacts of climate change that the climate change will have on Lake Tahoe, does the city have a responsibility to implement policies to address this?
Well, as far as that goes, the city does have a moral responsibility. It's what are we leaving for future generations? And we can definitely work hard and put in some policies and whatever to try and reduce the city's carbon footprint. There's not much industry going on in Tahoe, so we don't have big polluters, but there is a lot of pollution going on.
And what sort of, since we don't have the big industry, what do you think, or what are sort of those major polluters that we can help reduce to reduce our impact?
Well, years ago, the city and the TRPA, they passed an ordinance about drive-throughs at restaurants. And they were worried about cars idling at the drive-throughs. Well, that's not as big of a problem as how many cars are idling at all these stoplights all through town. If we could work on something to try and get the traffic problem, that is a big carbon footprint for us, the traffic problem and just cars emitting their emissions, and it's a pollution deal.
Yeah, so being able to get people out of their cars, but if they are in their cars...
If we get more public transportation, stuff like that, reliable public transportation, you know that you can be at the bus stop at this time, get on the bus and get off the bus at this time, and you'll be where you need to be when you need to be there.
Perfect. So I'm definitely hearing transportation is sort of the plan of attack to really reducing that big impact.
Transportation, not just buses and public and transportation like that, but let's get more people out and riding their bikes and walking, and you know, it's not, in the summertime it's not that hard. In the wintertime I understand, but in the summertime, get out of the house, go for a walk.
Perfect. And now for our free-form question. What has your past leadership and experience done to prepare you to bridge the gap between young professionals struggling to pursue their careers in Tahoe and folks that have lived in Tahoe for decades?
Well, going all the way back to the time when I served in the Army, I was put in various leadership roles there, and you've got to deal with people of all ages. I mean, we had the young recruits, guys that were like myself, 18, 19, 20 years old, and then you had the guys that have been in the service forever. And to get these two to meet somewhere in the middle and get stuff accomplished, let's get some priorities straight. You know, let's lay down some priorities and emphasize what we need to, and focus on certain people's specialties. You know, the younger people, they can specialize in this. And older people, you've been around, you know what this is like. How about you work on this? Let's all get together and collaborate and make this work.
Yeah, so if you were elected to city council, how sort of would your personal role, what would your personal role be in that process?
I would like to be more of a facilitator and get some of these ideas out there on the table and say, okay, here's what I think. Let's work with this. Anybody got anything? Can you add to this? Can I fit this into your plan somewhere? What can we do to make this work and make this a priority and get it on the table and working?
Do you think both sides, the younger generation, the newcomers to Tahoe, and sort of the old, as they call it, the old guard, are willing to get to the table and try to work together?
The younger generation, definitely. You know, the old guard, we can break through that ice wall. You know, let's get them talking. They're set in their ways, but Tahoe cannot be. This is not Tahoe of 1950 anymore. It's not Tahoe of 1970 anymore. I've lived up here since '79. When I first moved up here, '89 was not open year-round. It was closed right there because there was nobody going out into the county. Camp Richardson wasn't open year-round. And here it is 30 years later, and yeah, you can drive all the way around the lake in the wintertime, dead winter if you want to. It's time to start progressing everything forward. Maybe it's baby steps, maybe we can take a giant leap, but we can't stay the same. It's got to progress.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for joining us, and thank you for watching at home. Again, this is part of our video candidate series. You can watch this video and the rest of our interviews on our website at TahoeTRYP.org or on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Tahoe Regional Young Professionals.